Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prairie Harm Reduction in Saskatoon has ceased operations following a financial crisis. The PHR board says as of 5 p.m., all of its services, including the supervised consumption site, the drop-in center, the support services, and 2 youth homes are closed. The board says the major financial shortfall was discovered last month and it was more dire than anticipated. It would not put a number to the shortfall, but said it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. It says there are still unanswered questions because it cannot afford a forensic financial audit. It also says it has about 70 full-time employees. Thousands of dollars worth of contraband and electronic devices were seized at the Saskatchewan Penitentiary last week. The Correctional Service of Canada says last Wednesday, packages containing THC concentrate, hashish, tobacco, cell phones, and chargers were seized. The estimated value of this seizure is more than $138,000. Correctional Service of Canada says it's increasing measures to prevent contraband from entering institutions, including partnering with police to try to catch people bringing in unauthorized items into correctional institutions. The Saskatchewan Marshal Service has reached agreements to work with a handful of Saskatchewan First Nations with the goal of improving safety in the communities. James Smith Cree Nation is the latest to sign a Band Council resolution to work with the Marshals. The province says the Marshal Service will collaborate with the RCMP, which has jurisdiction to police the First Nation and will focus on arresting people with outstanding warrants and criminal activities facing the community. The Marshal Service has also signed these agreements with Montreal Lake Cree Nation, One Arrow First Nation, and English River First Nation, with an additional 15 expected to be in place by the end of June. The Marshals are hoping to recruit more Indigenous officers to ensure the service reflects the communities they serve. Police are also investigating the death of a woman found in a house fire on Good Friday as a homicide. Emergency crews responded to the fire in the 400 block of Avenue I South on April 3rd. While fighting the fire, crews found a 61-year-old woman inside the home. She was declared dead at the scene. Her death is considered the result of foul play. A Saskatchewan power line company has been fined $75,000 over an incident involving an employee injury. Hunseth Power Line Construction pleaded guilty to one charge of violating Saskatchewan's occupational health and safety regulations in Yorkton Provincial Court last month. It's connected to an incident near Kenora 3 years ago when a worker was seriously hurt while working on a power pole. The court imposed a $50,000 fine and a victim surcharge of $20,000. A former Saskatchewan lieutenant governor has died. Fawn Solomon Schofield was Saskatchewan's 21st lieutenant governor, serving in the role from 2012 to 2018. She was named the honorary colonel of 15 Wing Moose Jaw last year, along with a list of other accomplishments. Solomon Schofield died in Regina Wednesday after a brief stay in hospital. She was 82. Flags on Saskatchewan government buildings will be flown at half-mast until sunset on the day of Solomon Schofield's funeral. A date for those arrangements has not yet been announced. All right, Jeff, a little more melting, hopefully, in the works for us.
Well, it certainly looks that way right now, John. We have the potential for a little bit of rain in some areas, including Prince Albert. We're not expecting a lot if it shows up at all because these small disturbances sort of sliding through from Alberta. What we are keeping our eye on is the thermometer. It looks like temperatures are going to be rising as we make our way into Friday and the weekend, but then we do still have a bit of a drop-off as we head into the early part of next week. More on that later.
Health Canada has expanded the temporary authorized use of strychnine to more areas in the province. A little more than 200 rural municipalities in southern and western Saskatchewan are now eligible to use the poison to combat gophers until November of next year. The province made the request to expand eligibility after hearing from farmers in those areas. The Ministry of Agriculture, along with SARM, is developing a strychnine stewardship program that will be shared once the details are finalized. Information can be found on the provincial government website. Saskatoon is entering a unique partnership with a Saskatchewan First Nation to encourage health and wellness. The city signed a one-year contract with Kakiskiwu Ochapawais Nation, giving members living in Saskatoon the access to city-run recreation centers. Drop-in programming will be available at all leisure centers, outdoor pools, and indoor rinks during the year. The discounted bulk admissions have been purchased ahead of time, eliminating the need for members having to pull out their wallet. And with the deal just hours old, both sides are looking at extending beyond the one-year term.
The opportunities, I think, are wide open and endless for us right now. It's the start of an exciting partnership.
George hopes this partnership will flourish in the coming years and lead to things like summer employment opportunities for Achapaway's members. The city of Saskatoon is remembering the Battle of Vimy Ridge. Flags have been lowered at city buildings today to honor the sacrifices made during the battle that began during the First World War on April 9, 1917 in northern France. The four-day fight is considered the bloodiest day in Canadian military history, with almost 3,600 Canadians losing their lives and 7,000 being wounded. The victory at the Battle of Vimy Ridge is considered a turning point for Canada as it gained independence from Britain. The Liberals are now just one seat away from securing a majority government after a longtime Conservative MP, Marilyn Gladue, crossed the floor, leaving many in shock.
We thought absolutely no way would she cross. So now I'm wondering, why did she cross? What did Carney give her?
Look at her social media feed. Up until just hours ago, she was trashing and attacking the Liberal government of which she's now proudly a part. This is very cynical and it's very odd.
Gladue has been a Conservative MP representing her southwestern Ontario riding since 2015. She even ran for the Conservative leadership in 2020, but was disqualified after the party deemed her ineligible. Gladue is the fifth opposition MP to join the Liberal caucus since November. The move comes ahead of 3 by-elections happening on Monday. Regina Capel MP Andrew Scheer was on the show this morning and gave his opinion.
It's disappointing. You know, Marilyn made a commitment to her voters and her Conservative team that she would fight to end Liberal inflation, to fight for relief and affordability crisis, and now she's joined the very party that's caused it all in the first place. So I never understand how people can do that, now join a party that's completely opposite of all her publicly stated positions. It's also kind of cynical for Mark Carney. You know, he's been doing this, cobbling this majority that Canadians denied him in the last election. Canadians gave him a minority government, not a majority. And I don't think voters are pleased that the fundamental nature of the government he leads has changed through backroom deals and private conversations that Canadians don't have an opportunity to pass judgment on.
After the break, breakthroughs in artificial intelligence driving innovation in farming. And scammers posing as bank employees, another example of financial crime on the prairies. Technology and farming have always gone hand in hand, with machines fundamentally changing the way people grow and harvest food. Now the introduction of artificial intelligence could lead to more significant changes. Jack Morse explains.
Hey, Ben Ben.
I'm here.
Shake hands.
As you wish.
Aww.
That's the unitary quadruped robot called a dog robot. It could be used to inspect crops and support farmers in the field.
We can see the farmers' life is getting easier, so they can spend the valuable time with their families.
It's just one piece of advanced tech that's changing how farmers work.
It's very interesting the way things are going. I'm very excited.
Farmers gathered in Innisfil today for a look at this cutting-edge tech.
I'm very impressed not only with the technology, but with the acceptance of the technology in our agricultural industry, and just doing more and more and more each year, and doing it efficiently and effectively to feed us.
Robots like this one can be used for general help around the farm, but there are more specialized machines too. These heavy-duty drones can be used for things like precision pesticide spraying.
More coverage of the crops. There's more of a efficiency. Rather than taking out a tractor in the field, you're able to just fly over and spray, and it's very precise.
When used correctly, machines like the ones on display here today can give time back to the farmer, making a job known for long hours and hard work just a little bit easier.
There was the old saying, you would be able to just sit there and push a button and have everything done for you. Well, guess what? That's going to be a reality, and it is a reality.
But it's more than just saving labor. More efficient growing means more food, cheaper. Jack Morse, CTV News.
Something new is raising concern in the depths of Lake Superior. Experts are calling it the zombie fish.
A high number of these very skinny looking fish that we call zombie fish because they're just floating around down there and moving around like zombie fish.
The U.S. Department of Natural Resources says about half of the catches in deep water areas are these so-called zombie fish, the strange fish species found at depths of 180 meters and below. The lake has a healthy lake trout population, leading to one theory that food limitations are causing fish to morph. Disease or contaminants are other theories. Assessments will continue this summer. A woman from Winnipeg is sharing her story after losing thousands of dollars to a scammer. She says they posed as a bank employee in order to gain access to her account. Alex Karpa has the details.
Now, these are the copies of the exact check.
Lisa Taryn has been left with nothing after she says scammers posing as her bank drained thousands of dollars from her account.
It is truly dumbfounding.
On February 12th, Taryn received a call from someone claiming to be from TD Bank about fraudulent charges. The caller, who seemed to know her account details, had her confirm a text message. She later learned she was not dealing with a TD employee, but a scammer, and her account had been breached.
I was baffled because never at any point did I give my account number and PIN number.
In total, she lost $4,650, and with no reimbursement from the bank, she was forced to turn to her 91-year-old mother for help.
I wouldn't have had any money for my rent, my food, my transportation, my medication.
Experts warn fraud is increasing here in Canada, whether it's a phone call, a text, or any email. Staying vigilant is key to avoiding becoming the next victim. According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, Canadians lost over $704 million to fraud in 2025, which is up from $638 million in 2024. Fraud losses since 2022 have also surpassed $2.4 billion.
We're seeing that, fraudsters now have more personal information when they're calling victims to make it more believable.
Tech analyst Carmi Levy says scams are becoming more sophisticated.
This is bad, it's getting worse, and we're not doing enough to stop it.
This check.
Taryn is hoping her story is a warning to others, showing just how costly one simple mistake can be. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Jeff's got a look at weather when we return, and later, new technology gives a motorized helping hand to amputees. All right, Jeff, as we get closer to the weekend, I don't think anyone had it as bad. I guess the Prairies had it bad this week, but who's got it good heading into the weekend?
We always have it good, but it's depends on how you quantify those things. But right now, look, they are going to be they've had some terrifically nice days out on Canada's west coast into places like British Columbia and into parts of Alberta. But BC, temperatures in the 20s, and things have been looking pretty nice in the Vancouver and the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island. But they are going to be seeing a bit more in the way of moisture as we make our way into the weekend. For the Prairie provinces, things look like they're going to remain relatively quiet. Still some cooler air in some parts of the north, but generally speaking, things are looking pretty mild. A different sort of situation as we make our way into Ontario and Quebec. It looks like today a relatively quiet day in southern Ontario and parts of Quebec, but another system is moving in, and we do anticipate more in the way of snow. So basically, Barrie to Ottawa, there's sort of a cutoff line. That's going to be the rain-snow mix. So north of that will be snow, south of that will be rain, and that system makes its way through into Quebec as we make our way into Friday. So I know I didn't get out to Atlantic Canada. I'm just running out of time. We've got ourselves a little bit of breeze tomorrow, but not strong winds and a bit of a disturbance rolling in. This is what the computer models are indicating as we roll into Friday afternoon. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on for our numbers. So for Prince Albert area, as you can see, -5 in Spiritwood tonight with a chance of some flurries. -5 as well in the Battlefords with relatively clearing skies. Partly cloudy conditions in Candle Lake and Birch Hills. -7 in Candle Lake, 6 in Birch Hills on the minus side, -7 in Roster, and -6 in Nipawin and Melfort as well. And again, in relatively quiet conditions, and that includes tomorrow, where we do see more in the way of cloud, but the good news is no precipitation, and temperatures in some places at or above seasonal values, and that includes Spiritwood at 7, which is pretty much seasonal, 12 in the Battlefords, 6 for Candle Lake and Rostern, 5 for Birch Hills and Nipawin, and Melfort 4 degrees, again, below seasonal, certainly in the Melfort area, as well as Nipawin and a few other places. -7 degrees with a slight chance of showers. That is before midnight, and then after midnight, the winds shift around a little bit, winds out of the southwest at 10 kilometers an hour. And tomorrow's high, 6 degrees, so just below seasonal values for this time of April. Mainly cloudy conditions, winds from the south at 15. And here is our 7-day forecast for the Gateway City. 7 degrees on Saturday, Sunday 4, warming up to 6 on Monday, and then 8 on Tuesday. But that temperature on Tuesday comes along with a chance of some rain, possibility of some flurries on Wednesday with a high of just 0 degrees. And dang, look at that. A week from today, -3. Boo!
Yeah, chance for more snow there. But the good thing is there, I think it looks like 4 good days of melt, so we can just get a head start on that, as everybody wants to see some grass and some fields.
I think so.
All right, Jeff, well, some more individual award nominations for the Prince Albert Raiders as they get ready to face the Saskatoon Blades in round 2. In addition to Goalie of the Month for March, Mikhail Orszalak was named a finalist for Goaltender of the Year. And leading his team to a 52-10-5-1 record, Ryan McDonald is in the running for Coach of the Year. And then General Manager Curtis Hunt is up for WHL Executive of the Year. He won that award in 2019. Daxon Rudolph, a finalist for WHL Defenseman of the Year. He set Raiders records for goals in a season and power play goals in a season by a defenseman. And not an award, but Captain Justice Christensen has signed a 2-year contract with the Grand Rapids Griffins, the AHL affiliate of the Detroit Red Wings. On-court fights, taunts, verbal abuse of referees, and threatening actions at a recent basketball game in Nova Scotia have caused officials to crack down and demand better behavior going forward. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more.
Recent incidents like this one have prompted Basketball Nova Scotia to issue a stern warning about spectator behavior. A statement highlighted concerns about safety for players, coaches, officials, and fans. Verbal or physical aggression has a real impact on everyone present, especially young athletes, and cannot be a part of our sport environment. Individuals who engage in this behavior will be removed from the facility and may be subject to further disciplinary action, including suspension from future events. In December 2023, a basketball league in Nova Scotia banned all spectators from games following numerous confrontations with officials. Former national team and professional player Dwight Walton says parent and spectator behavior at youth basketball games is a growing problem across the country.
This behavior that I'm now seeing between parents, officials, coaches, their own players. These are not isolated incidents.
Ed McHugh has been a basketball referee for 53 years and says he's not surprised by these latest concerns.
I see a worsening of fan and coaching behavior.
McHugh worries if this continues, players, coaches, volunteers, and officials could walk away from basketball.
We lose 80% of our officials after 2 years. And the reason is mostly fan and some coaching behavior.
Basketball Nova Scotia is asking fans to adhere to their code of conduct and fair play policies. Walton hopes they implement a single warning rule to crack down on offenders.
The next time if you cross the line, we are going to ask you to be escorted out.
He says those who fail to clean up their behavior should be barred from basketball games forever. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Researchers have developed new technology that could change how amputees adapt to bionic limbs. The E-Ready arm is made by scientists at the University of Guadalajara. The 3D printed device conceals its motors within the forearm and helps train users' brains to control it more naturally. Researchers say this arm reduces the complexity that often leads patients to ditch their prosthetic devices. Further versions will also include a Bluetooth-enabled microphone to allow for even more complex hand movements. Women's health has been a topic of conversation this month at the Legislative Building in Regina, including the recent announcement of mobile mammography units, which start next week. Nurse practitioners say public health care has been flawed for women's health across Saskatchewan.
They're telling them these huge symptoms of extreme pain, issues in their cycle, mood issues, hormone changes, and they're not being heard. They're being completely normalized. They're not getting investigations done or really any communication. They want to understand what's going in their body. They're not looking for anything luxury. They're just looking to understand what's happening, whether that's through investigation or education on what to expect.
The province took another set of applications for nurse practitioners in Saskatchewan in March.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Jeff, sometimes you just need a break, and a new kind of club has opened in Amsterdam.
Well.
It's all about having a digital detox.
Oh.
We create our events and gatherings with different themes. One of them is connecting with yourself through creative activities or reading or writing or puzzling. So really something that makes you slow down and reflect, go inwards.
I think I was thinking what you were thinking, Jeff, about detox and partying in Amsterdam. But this one, it's in an old church where the service is all about no service. Participants hand in their phones at the door before joining a 2-hour-long creative session. It's the latest event by the Offline Club, which started 2 years ago. And Jeff, I think I could use that. Just put the screens away for a while.
Not bad.
Wouldn't be bad.
I hear the music.
Nice little break. There you go.